Hey everyone, Felipe Vieira here, an external front-end developer with over 15 years of experience in the field. Today I'm here to bring you another product for comparison, okay? With our dear Bolt, the Bolt, Lovable, and so on. I don't bring that many comparisons. You can see there are other channels out there that offer more comparisons. I know several similar products, but I only bring them when I see that the tool really makes sense. That's why I don't bring so many comparisons. This guy here caught a lot of attention, okay? That's why I'm bringing it to you, all right? It's called Tempo Labs, okay? I'll leave the link here in the description for you to take a look, okay? We're going to do a quick registration here, as if we were starting from scratch, okay? Then we're going to test some, I don't know if it's a list guess, right? Everyone makes a list guess. It's a simpler thing. Or we do that portfolio part that we always do in comparisons by taking an already defined UI to see how it resolves, right? I think that would be more interesting, okay? But before the start of the video, I'm leaving here in the description links, okay? A link for you to respond, okay? I'm going to create a course from scratch on how to create a product, how we look for a product that is cool, right? Because we have several trends abroad, right? Of products, SaaS, right? That start to become profitable out there, right? And it's interesting for us to always see the trend out there that probably OE catches on here, okay? So I'm going to teach from scratch how to do this market research, how to define the UI part, how to take the first steps within these tools, soon Bolt, and everything else. Then bring it to your PC, enable code the cursor windsurf, there. Integrated with our backend database, my login, everything. Then after that, create a VPS for us, buy a domain, and configure the domain on our VPS to be all set, okay? From scratch to the finish, including payment and subscription, everything complete, okay? So whoever fills out the form will receive it via email, which is why it's important to provide the correct email, okay? Warming up for a discount on the course, okay? The course will be in a live format. We will conduct several live sessions until the course is completed. So you will participate in all the classes, okay? It won't be something where I do it and you consume it. We will build it together, right? After all, it will be a living product and we will be developing it together. So we might start with a scope and change it depending on what you say during in the live sessions and so on, okay? So please respond. It's very important, okay? Use the correct email so you can receive the coupon there. Besides that, like the video, share it with your friends, people who are interested in SaaS creation, right? Product creation with zero coding knowledge, okay? It really helps the channel a lot. Like share, if you don't like it, give it a dislike so I know if I should bring more of these comparison videos or not. All right. So let's go. Let's log in here. It didn't ask for anything. It just logged in like that. Okay. So apparently we need to handle GitHub. Okay, folks. If you don't know what GitHub is, how it works and everything else, leave a comment here, okay? I'll create a video just explaining what GitHub is, how to create an account, how the basics work. Okay, so you can work with GitHub, okay, as it is logging in and loading. All right. It has an interface very similar to Bolt there. All right, let me just exit full screen here. So we can see Dribble, okay? Looking for Dribble, as you know. It's good for design to look for Dribble, okay? An idea you have and everything else, okay? This is a good practice. Let's see. Portfolio, right? Portfolio. And just for comparison, right? Because I like to compare, we are going to compare with Bolt. The first input is just to see how it behaves, to have a comparison there. If in the first one it already looks good, okay. Let's find one here. This one. I want to pick a more complex design to see how it behaves. Okay. This one, which is vertical, has a grid, right? Has tabs. I think this one might be. It's very much about portfolio, right? But it seems interesting to pick this one indeed. And if it will do the shadow, all this part is fine. Let's go back there. Let's see if it works on Control V. Doesn't work on boot. It works, right? Look there before the Control V, so we already have a difference, okay? Create a portfolio. But based on the attached image. All right. So this will be our prompt. Let's go back in time. Labs. All right. But we will have to save this image on the PC, okay? Save image as we saved it. All right, let's find it and open it. They use white, right, which is a bundler. So let's see the customize, what it gives. We can choose. This is next remix. Only white is there. The rest is not. All right. Describe your app. Does it ask to describe? Let's go. All right. I'll also run it on Bolt to check the speed. Okay. All right. It creates a prompt. We already saw there that it is creating and showing the prompt. Bolt does something similar, okay? But it doesn't show us the prompt it created. But he wanted to take a look at the prompt, but he hit it. Let's go back to RD here. Modern grid-based portfolio website. Shokin's objective work retouch minimalism, all right? It seems like it's describing the image we sent. Then it creates a user flow here to see where the person is navigating on the site. This is cool, especially for those in UX, right? Usability. Contextual, which would be the image, but it didn't link the image here. All right, let's see the code. Nothing, it's nothing. Let's go back to the design. Let's put generate UI frames to see how it will create the design part. Apparently, yes, it has the UI part with the code part, which is really cool, especially for those who do the coding part a bit more professionally, right? It separates by component, which is nice, right? For us to create a cohesive component library, right? My code turned into 4. README. I created a README TypeScript byte with React, all right? It's within It's not very precise to tweak here. It's a bit slow, but you can adjust it. He doesn't take Figment's shortcuts because he's generating the codes. All right, so it's a bit slow. Let's look at the code here. Created some components quite simply, but it's not running. Let's check the package. Let's close this. Render. For it to run again. It didn't open there. For us, the preview, it's my preview, but there's nothing. We click inspect. It's just to see what it's going to do. Console. It seems there are no errors in the components part. The preview didn't open. All right. Let's go back in time. Labs, these are the components. Let's go to zoom. The interface is still hard to use, you see. I released the mouse and it acts as if it's clicked. This is kind of bad. It takes a while, but all right, it's creating. Here it says it created everything. Around here, I want the code. Where is it? Oh, code folder. Dump 3. All right, it's here. History. Design, system, then file selector, assets. It already creates here, but it didn't load everything, right? It's tough that it doesn't show progress here for us, you see? Here, it's probably doing it, but it's not showing the progress to us. Let's see, user flow. We set it to generate design. It's a little slow. I'm still not able to edit. I asked it to generate. I believe it will generate again, but these guys here, it didn't generate. Okay, we have 500k tokens, right? I've already spent 30k. All right. Here's the design part, and we need to see where my tire is. It's good to see. What he's complaining about. It's with the route handling. He didn't create the component there to let us grab the URLs, and the system find itself within the URLs. Here, all right, here's the Git part, right? What he was creating. And what is this? The iChat. All right. Of the tree. We click here and it opens here. Is that it? Where is it here that this is? Select this. I don't know what it means. Here's for you to chat with the AI. Viewer selection. All right, you click there It enters here with part of the code. I missed the part of the files, right? We'll see later. Assets. Are these guys, if we click here, it goes straight to the asset. We need to finalize the design to be able to see how the system is, you see. It could be that. So it basically creates the component, takes a screenshot, and places it here in the design. Basically, that's what I think it's doing. But it's quite slow. There are some things that crash and it takes a screenshot of the error, you know. It doesn't take a screenshot of the component, but the idea is very good. And if we look, it's a lot of functionality. It's a lot of interesting functionality that others haven't even thought of implementing. Here it's basically a Figma, which is the design part, along with the code part. We already have the connection part with Supabase, which most are already trying as well. But this guy has an error. Let's see if there's another one here. I wanted to open a component to see how we style it here, as if it were a Figma. Okay. I think we style it first, then we send it from there. He finishes the code part and does the generation. That's probably how it works in Crease. Here for you to take a look here. Look. Made some date pickers, but you see, but took a screenshot with an error. Let's see. Let's go back to the AI there. This guy here has an error. The screenshots and the code correct themselves. Let's see Bolt in this scenario and problem. Let us try to carefully solve it step by step to find a solution to this issue that we are facing right now. So Bolt was 3 prompts still. And this guy here, a bit low. But it has a much higher limit. Also, the free token. 100K per day. That's a lot. All right, I think now he managed it, right? We can add the Tailwind class. Okay. To edit it here. But basically here we already have the part of how it will work. Let's set the sizes here as if it were a visual styler, right? Okay. Everything here was supposed to be just the calendar. Let's move it over here. The navigation part of the prototype is quite bad. Look, it's slow. It's not responding well. Activated the portfolio to see if it loads here on the side. All right, it loaded. So we can edit one by one. Okay. Cool. But missing these guys here that it didn't load. I don't know why. But let's give it a finish to see what it says here. The system is currently in the process of loading your data, which may take a few moments. Please be patient and wait until the process is complete. Great. Here are the assets neatly separated so we can edit them one by one. Components too. Quite a few components. Can you drag it? You can drag and add it here. As if it were a component library, right? And I believe I can use it in here. It's just very slow. Oh, okay, see. You can pin it, great. So, basically, we can take existing components, right? This component library from this guy, from the time labs, and adding it to the interface. But it would be ideal to have the preview appear on the left side, so we don't have to place it on ours, then visualize and use it. And here, speed to appropriately fit. Great in this context and suitable. I just updated the preview there. Let's see if we can place it somewhere. Here it's not the parent of all, it's up there, right? So let's go. Try to put it in here. Let's see if it copied. The thing here in the menu. I sometimes forget that the shortcuts here aren't really very accurate. Look, there, it placed it here. So we can come here with the components, drag and drop here, so we can start using them. And here it is. Let's click here just to see. The hard part is just to see how it's turning out. If it loaded, here it needs to load. All right. The slider doesn't work. Here there's the hover. This guy was the one we added there. Pretty basic, right? This guy here already looks a bit more like the image. But it needs to load the image. Let's use web images to just compose the layout. Otherwise, you can't really see if it looks similar. Okay. Look, there it is, guy. It's not responsive. It's also here we can change it. Let's see, 14 Pro Max. It seems like it is. MacBook. All right. So here we will be able to write. It's not 100% because it's very slow. If you have a lot of patience, you can do it. Here, you can go to the site where it pulls the components you're importing there to be able to view the component. But as I said, the ideal would be to have it here in the interface itself, but we can get in here and see the component we want. Let's see how it is called. Open editor, copy, let's see. It needs to log in. But here we can see the component we want to then put it here and use it. But if we look at the code, this is the guy we took. And it transformed into this. It's quite different, not to say completely different. The bolt did a slightly more similar job in a manner that is considered similar. But even so, It's not 100%. Okay. It's somewhat responsive too, right? But if we are to compare, this one is more usable, isn't it? It already uses some images and everything. It became more usable right away. The Bolt with more streamlined code. It's just that here you can't see all the code, right? I wanted to see if there was a way for me to take a look at the code. Here, it opens the code, all right? But I want to see the entire code, and I can't. It's okay that this is for people who really don't know. Oh, here it is, file selector, nice. Time config, let's see what it creates. It created a how-to for itself. Patch, it even linted. All right. Use the configured super base, use radix cool. Time, book, types, let's see how it is. The types just from the super base are empty there. Components, UI. Nice, it separates well. That would be all. Radix. All right, then it assembles the major components with the wire components. All right. The time should all, I have part, should all. Specific to them. I think it's a project that will scale very well. You see, there are many functionalities to make it perfect. This will take some time, okay? In 6 months to a year, it will already be more robust and ready for production. We can work with it in production because because the bolt works well, but it is still very dependent on the prompt, right? So you need to create a very good prompt, be very detailed and everything else, so it can be as accurate as possible. That's why I mentioned that Visio, it can deliver higher quality with simpler prompts. Not that it's better and all, but it can do a better job. Just to prove it, let's open V0. I hope it doesn't prove me wrong. Live here. And we will paste it. Let's see if the image is here. No. We will paste this guy here and have it do the task. But whenever I don't use V0, it's actually good for me to see what they've added here. Oh, you can link Figma, okay? I tested it, but it basically takes a screenshot of your Figma and brings it here. It's as if I had a screenshot of Figma and brought it. So I don't see much interest in this feature yet, right? When it really integrates with the V0 part, I just came here to copy the one that I was really identical to, okay? All right, let's see how it behaves. Why, folks? Since Bolt is more dependent on prompt, you need to be a bit more creative with the prompt. In the course I'm going to do, we will have a specific module for prompt, especially for when we bring the project into our computer using Windows Server or Cursor. There are things that are mandatory for us to do to be more accurate, especially in the integration part with the database, login, and the backend. All right, here it is already creating. Preview console here, what is it? It doesn't let me see. Here we will have the history, and here, that's it. Here is what we have. Blocks. Yes, there are some additional features. There's even a library now. And now I've lost track of where I was. We're back. All right. You see that he is more assertive. He has already created the tabs. here for us, see? He has already divided it into 3, which is what the image wants, see? All right, it sings rounded. There's a background image here. But you see that based on the image, he can be more assertive right away. Why? Because he must have a more refined internal prompt system. You understand? To convert the image descriptively first and then take that description and create the interface part, right? There must be an extra step there, okay? The code part, he hasn't released it yet. I don't think so, huh? Because ideally, it would show the pages and everything else there, but you see that he is more assertive, right? But this guy is mainly used for us to create more robust software because Bolt creates the components there, and sometimes it duplicates components and doesn't make a single source of truth for our component, because that's what a component is, right? We will have to pull from it every time we use it. If there is more than one, it gets lost as we scale. It's fine for those who don't understand code and everything else, just want to pivot, see a product at the beginning, and launch it to see if it takes off. Okay, this doesn't matter. But for a system to become robust and everything else, we need to look at this as well, okay? And I believe this tool came to minimize these side effects of the code generators that we have. The cursor and windsurf also behave this way, okay? Sometimes it duplicates code and everything else for those in the field. They can go there, edit, and make this single source of truth in a slightly more professional way. But those who are not in the field can't, right? They can't read the code, see that it's duplicated and everything else. In this case here, as it transforms all components in a visual way, we can really see that here, for example, it's taking from here, you understand. So our component is this one, right? It's not creating 2 of these, and here it's pulling 1, here it's pulling another. Visually, we won't know unless we look at the code, you understand? So I think it's ideal for you to take a look at this, okay? Especially if you already have an MVP running with funding, okay? Already profiting and everything. Bring it to this one here to make it a slightly more professional system, okay? So this would be a level 2 in the part of creating MVPs, SaaS, and everything else, okay? But for a start, I wouldn't recommend it, okay? I would really recommend focusing on Bolt there, continuing with Bolt or Lovable, okay? Lovable, with the integration part there with the back end, is being more fluid, okay, than Bolt. So if you want to make the MVP already from end to end, I recommend Lovable. If you want to make the format of making its interface, the system, in Bolt, bring it to your computer and KI, integrate via cursor or IndySurf, then I recommend Bolt. In the next video that I will release, I will make the same system, comparing step by step in the 3 best, VZO, Lovable, and Bolt. But keep in mind that this one here will thrive a lot, especially in the second half of next year. I believe they will already be fixing a lot of things here that are not good. And I also believe that Bolt, VZR, and Logo will take a lot from this. Even though it's a lot of work to make this work, this integration is a lot of work, really good work from the team here. So for this video, that's it. Even though it ended up being a little long, I wish it had been a bit quicker, but I hope you liked it. Please leave your comments with suggestions for future videos as well, Maup. Thanks everyone, see you next time.